Hey. Get kicked off of you.
No.
Oh, we're on. Oh, we're on. Listen. Bioenginetically, sporadically, emotionally, technology, everybodyology, biology, Scientology, excavation, lubrication. Let me get the shit cracking. Let me get the shit cracking. Hey, you know, there's nothing really I should be happy and excited for right now. I'm gonna keep it real. You know, I'm gonna keep it real. This is gonna be a dark episode, guys. I'm gonna just be real. This is gonna be kind of want my hair down. It's gonna be a dark episode. Wait, why did I comb my hair afterwards? It's gonna be a dark episode. You got me all sweaty. Oh well. I wanted to wear my hair down today.
That was not a good thing.
We were playing football today. It's a beautiful day. You gotta go out there and touch some grass. You got to. But this is gonna be an eye-opening episode for some of y'all. The majority of the Wake people are already gonna know this, or it's gonna further expound on their understanding of what's going on. That's for damn sure. I'm gonna bring up events to make it all make sense. I am going to speak a narrative. I'm not going to lie to any one of y'all. I am going to spin a narrative only off of what I've seen. I don't know what any conversations happen behind closed doors, but I'm going off the energy of the intention, because the intention will always tell you and say its own narrative, right? All right. Let's just go with the intentional narrative of what that means. Also, what our own understanding of geopoliticals are from research of facts, figures, and numbers, right? So it's like we don't have to be an expert to hold an opinion off of procuring information and knowledge when it is said to a pertained subject. And the reason I say that is because me and Cliff were just watching, the Dave Smith and Joe Rogan podcast against that Semitic. And the whole time he was trying to say, without trying to say, because of how it is unconstitutional, of how basically he wants to control what people say and F your constitutional rights. And it's only when you criticize or look into certain subjects that surrounds a certain sect of people. But if you what?
He deflected so
He
much.
deflected a lot. Like I want to react to that, honestly. And I probably will. I will do a live reaction to that podcast, at least the first hour, because if I react that whole podcast, that will be a 6 to 7 hour clip. And I ain't got time for that. I do got time, but come on. Who the hell is going to watch that?
Right.
So again, I'm trying to compartmentalize the content. Excuse me. But how y'all doing? I got a lot of information to show y'all. Of course, I am not going to lie. I am going to harp on Trump today. Because someone today, not today, but this week commented, I support Trump. And that you obviously don't follow me if you think I'm supporting Trump. YouTube, guys. I don't support Trump. That's complete bullshit. You know what I mean? But our First Amendment, guys, is about to get taken. You're hearing murmurs of Trump in a third term. And this guy hiding in the shadows of the majority of Trump's press conference, which is actually like a cartoon or a political cartoon. I can't even show that on here. I'm afraid to keep it real. I'm already treading a line. But I'm going to show you this first video of multiple, because this is a right-winger, right? Trump is allegedly a right-winger who's actually Judean and doesn't represent Jesus Christ. He kissed the wall, everything. He's the first Jewish president. Keep it real. If you know, you know. And this isn't a false claim. I can stand on that. You're about to see a whole bunch of right-wing content creators try to make the people aware of what's actually happening, because you will not see this on your media. You will not see this unless you actually consume this type of content. Straight up. Play the first video.
minds. Most of these people running around, we're not going to win their hearts and minds because they don't have hearts and they don't have minds. So, how are we going to, there's no reason to think we're ever going to convince them, but we can deport them, we can put them in jail, we can make their lives miserable, we can cut off their funding, and that's what the Trump administration is doing for the first time.
We're never going to win the hearts and minds of anti-Semites because they don't have hearts and they don't have minds. But what we can do is hit them where it hurts. We can arrest them, we can deport them, and we can cut off their funding. And that is exactly what we are seeing the Trump administration put into action.
Who ripped off of free speech and who won't say anything, and recognizing that this administration, this current administration, is taking a turn that is quite dark. Okay,
Facts.
It is not what we signed up for.
Facts.
We are supposed to be the people who defend speech. So why is it now I'm finding myself in agreement with Anna Kasparian?
Facts.
If you are spewing anti-Semitic garbage, you're actually free to do that as long as you don't act on it, right? Free speech is a thing. Hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. This guy thinks that simply criticizing how Israel is prosecuting the war is already anti-Semitic. It's already anti-Semitism. And he wants to throw you in prison for it.
Yeah.
In prison for it.
And by the way, that was an answer to a question about Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. So we're not talking about student visas anymore.
Oh my God.
Now,
Do you understand? That is not conjecture. That is, if you have an opinion about the war that isn't for their side, that is anti-Semitic. And they're trying to push for it to be imprisonable. Do you understand the intentions? Like, take away the whole aspect of, all right, talking about the war, all right? And just the intention. They want to lock you up for not standing behind what they believe they are required to have in this life.
Very well.
That's
done.
God-given. They want to lock you up because you defile their personal beliefs. What are we talking about here? And they're in the White House. And yes, you got duped. And you're watching the destruction of the small business. And you're watching the rise of the corporation. And you're watching the rise of the community full of renters. Land full of renters. I am in a development with $400,000 to $500,000 houses that is all corporation rented houses being built everywhere. Across the street, houses for rent, people by corporation. We are in a bubble right now.
That's been happening for a while. Though.
Right. Listen, it's a slow process.
Right.
And we're coming to a head. $38 trillion in debt. All right. What, you guys understand why these tariffs are raising? Huh? To crush small business. You ever hear too big to fail? There's a reason. We are the monopoly. Believe it or not, the trade war, do you know what the trade war should really open your eyes up to? Is that Americans are the modern day slave. And you don't know it. And it's right in your face. It's right in your face. Well, who's the plantation? Washington, D.C.? Well, who are they ahead of? China? I have a question. You go to any other country. Also, I can't say the other country. You know what the other country is. It's over there in the Middle East, which we just happened to go to war with that whole region. Think about all the wars in the past 25 years. What region are they in? That Mediterranean, that Middle Eastern. Isn't it funny you go to other countries? Name another country that starts with the state. That's the first two words of their country, the state of Israel. Does that not make it a subset? Name another place and they define their area as state. Oh, the United States has states. That's interesting. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying that's interesting. Out of everywhere else in the world. I'm a Trump supporter. Listen, and this is all part of the plan, guys. And it's funny, the things that I'm saying 4 or 5 years ago, you're now starting to see the foundational events that are starting to project us to that direction. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to say, hey, yo, if we aren't paying attention, I'm not saying this is going to pop off next year, the following year, but soon. And soon is the next 20, 30 years. Because it takes time to fully indoctrinate a people to how they want us. Also, they have to get the construct and the landscape fully committed and supplied to where revolution's not an option. So therefore, they can actually show their hand. And what I'm saying is very harmful content. I'm going to keep it real. And all I'm doing is trying to warn people of when a government, which is my American foundational constitutional right, when a government overreaches their boundaries as a citizen, and I hate even using that word because if you know, you know, but as a citizen, isn't it my constitutional right to speak against that? Isn't it my constitutional right to ban my brothers, to overthrow them? And that's not what I'm saying I'm doing, but we need answers to what our concerns are. And as much as you think President Trump is doing that because he's distracting you with Doge, because he's distracting you with all the shit he distracts you.
The propaganda since 2016.
Right. I'm here to tell you guys the reason why he lost last year was a plan so you guys could love him now, and it's been hoodwinked. And bro,
well, just think the fact that
all
of the information come out about the election fraud. And then nothing was ever done. And then Trump even come out and said, I'm not conceding. But then it was swept under the rug and never talked about again. So, I mean, it's...
There's something on the internet you can Google, dancing something, right? When we talk about 9/11, dancing something. And I can't say it because of obvious reasons. Why were they dancing? And then what happened after that? Libya, Syria, Yemen, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Damn. Where's that next to? Who's running us? And are we already in a communism country? Let's be real, with the illusion of democracy. I don't know, man. I'm just saying things look funny. And I don't want to be right. I don't. But you guys do realize that they have already passed the law and funding and all this for these privatized prisons to start deporting these people?
Being talked about, and there's being contracts signed as we speak.
Right. Wait a minute. They let them people over here. What's going on? What the fuck is going on? What's going on? That's all I'm saying. Play next video.
104% on imports coming from China. That means my small business that I put everything into is fucking done.
So many videos like this.
So many videos
small businesses
like this
are tanking because they bought things from China, slapped their label on them for pennies on the dollar, had them sent here, and then marked them up 150%. Have you ever asked yourself why that stuff is so cheap? It astounds me that people are just now waking up to the fact that the majority of the big expensive brands that they buy, that they find, that they love, are all coming from China. I mean, we knew that from like way back when. There was a time not that long ago that influential people were getting in trouble because they were making shoes in China using child labor and then selling them here in the United States for hundreds of dollars. So I guess when all of you decided that you cared about human rights and slave labor, that was just virtue signaling for the algorithm. I'm sorry to hear about your small business. It is going to be hard to pivot. I mean, you might have to sell your husband's Ferrari and downsize your kitchen a little bit just to make ends meet. But that's as far as my empathy is going to go. Because you know who else had to pivot? Small towns like Galesburg, Illinois, whose Maytag refrigerator plant shut down and moved to Mexico, and hundreds of people lost their jobs. Bassett, Virginia, who faced challenges due to their furniture-making plants closing and relocating, often to China. Entire towns were wiped off the map because of the things that happened and the decisions that were made to move all of these manufacturing plants to China. Thousands and thousands of people lost their job. Thousands and thousands of families were forced into poverty. Going to be easy for you to pivot? No. Is it going to be fast? Absolutely not. Is it necessary? Oh, 100%. The amount of reliance that we had on China,
We're
from
slaves.
pharmaceuticals to manufacturing to farming to food, is astronomical. My own governor, Governor Reynolds, announced that she would not be running for a third term. And most people think that she's not running for a third term because she stood with DeSantis when it came to the election. That's probably not it at all. You see, my former governor, Governor Branstad, okay, when he finished being governor, handed the torch off to Reynolds, he went and became the U.S. ambassador for China. Governor Reynolds rumored to have taken kickbacks from China in order to push farming and manufacturing over to China, leaving your small town farmers, your small town dairy farmers, all of these small farmers, these small family farmers, out of business. She's not running for a third term because of DeSantis. That's what everybody wants you to think. She's not running for a third term because the kickbacks probably are going to stop. Our dependence and our reliance on China is also going to stop. Does it suck for you? Sure. Get your husband to sell his Ferrari. Does it suck for a lot of small businesses? Absolutely. But it sucked a lot more for these small cities. If you're supporting any of these creators and you're empathizing with them, I'd better never, ever, ever hear the words human rights come out of your mouth ever again. There was a time not that long ago, I thought we were all on the same page. You were all on the same page because Shein had sent a bunch of influencers from the United States to China just to show them that no, all of our employees are happy and healthy and working, and y'all didn't buy it. Y'all rallied against them. Probably the most frustrating about this entire social media thing. It's the hypocrisy. It's so hypocritical of y'all to be like this. You have got an entire country right now, okay, that is boycotting China because of it, the way that it treats its workers, because of the goods, because of whatever. And because it's been terrifying us forever, right? You got an entire country boycotting them now. And now you're upset about it. When it was Shein, okay, you were on board. But when it's Trump, you're not on board. I never, ever want to hear the words human rights come out of your mouth again. Ever again. Hypocrites. You're all fucking hypocrites. All of you.
I understand her condescension. I absolutely do. And I'm not mad at her. And she's right. She's right. And she's not talking to the woke people. She's talking to the bots, how they virtue signal. And that's all they do. And, you know, it's no different from my body, my choice. You know what I mean? But she's also speaking from a Republican perspective about stopping the kickbacks. And she's not seeing the big picture. And I want to highlight that because that is, you've seen post after post after post after post after post after post of small business saying they have to close their doors. And I have come across a lot of them. And do you think, as if you guys know my end game, so if you've been a follower of mine, you know what I'm talking about right now with the end game, with the UBI, with the social credit, tell me we're not going towards that direction. That creator only sees it from a political standpoint because she's still in the mix of politicals and she's not seeing nothing outside of her echo chamber. She's seeing it from a rational economic standpoint that we're not in prison, that work is good, and that as long as she believes in her machine, the next 50 years is going to be better for my kids. When in all actuality, no, you'll be augmented. Transhumanism is a thing. UBI will be a thing because AI and robotics will take all the goddamn jobs and they will have to keep pumping the economy because all the work's being done. So what are they going to do with you? And you guys ever come across those video games that say, hey, we're exclusive partners with PayPal. Play this pool game, make money. They're conditioning you to get ready to receive money to do nothing. And it's been in our face for a very long time. Everything's a psyop. You've heard Coach Tommy say this multitude of times that everything's a psyop.
Hell, let's look at what they're doing with Call of Duty.
Right. Get back Bitcoin.
Pay your rent by playing Call of Duty.
They're going to get us immersed into this technological industrial revolution. It's just not as fruitful and positive as they are pushing it to be, and there is a dark agenda. Again, why did we have COVID? When you look back at it and you look at the things that has happened in that period of time, what was it a live exercise for? When they force something in your body, in you? That was, again, martial law, in my opinion. Straight cutthroat.
To force you to do something against your will. Absolutely.
Essential workers to keep things going. But the world stood still. No sports, no nothing. and nobody stood. The only time they stood, which was on purpose, George Floyd. Distracted the motherfucking shit out of you.
Mm-hmm. January 6th,
And
the whole
everything. And that was a forced resurrection to show you what would happen if you did. It's all predictive.
right.
The Trump assassination is predictive, in my opinion. I believe nothing happened to him. I believe that was all sugar packet ketchup. You know what I mean? People that died were supposed to die.
How's somebody going to show up with a damn ladder and an AR-15 and
How-
climb up on a building around 50,000
right.
people?
Let's talk about it. How are you going to walk around with a motherfucking ladder? What are we talking about? And people just go along today. No, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm in reality. And I'm thinking, how long have they been doing this? Huh? Next video.
Community. Your time starts now. Best of luck.
Thank you.
How much does Greece owe, Roger?
$367 billion.
Correct.
YouTube,
and who do they owe
I
it
love you
to?
too.
Mostly to the other European economies.
Correct. How much does Ireland owe?
$865 billion.
Correct.
We're
and
in
who
a
do they
bubble.
owe it to?
Other European economies, mostly.
Correct. How much do Spain and Italy owe?
$1 trillion each.
Correct. Who to?
Mainly France, Britain and Germany.
Correct. And how are Germany, France and Britain going, Roger?
Well, they're struggling a bit, aren't they?
Correct. Why?
Because they've lent all these vast amounts of money to
Go on
other
YouTube.
European economies
Make it
that
a
can't
bio.
possibly pay them back.
Correct. So what are they going to do?
They're going to have to bail them out.
Correct. Where are they getting the money to do that, Roger?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that one.
How much does Portugal owe?
Hang on a minute. What was the answer to that earlier question?
Just keep answering the
This is-
questions, Roger.
this is crazy.
Where is Portugal going to get the money it owes to Germany if Germany can't get back the money that it lent to Italy?
Just a minute. What was the answer to the previous question? The question was, how can broke economies
Yes.
lend money to other broke economies
Yes.
who haven't got any money because they can't pay back the money the broke economy lent to the other broke economy and shouldn't have lent it to them
And
in the
we're
first place because
tariffing
the broke
each
economy
other?
Can't pay it back.
You're wasting
And
very
we're
valuable time,
tariffing
Roger.
each other?
How much money does Spain owe to Italy?
$41 billion, but where are they going to get it?
Correct. What does Italy owe to Spain?
$27 billion, but they haven't got it. They're broke.
Correct. How can they pay each other if neither of them has any money?
They
They're going to get a
can't.
bailout, aren't they?
Correct. And where's the money coming from for the bailout?
That's what I'm asking you.
Correct. Why are people selling the European currency and buying the US dollar?
Because the US economy is so much stronger than the European economy.
Correct. Why is that, Roger?
Because it's owned by China.
Correct. And
Wow.
China is trying to sell directly to the American people. You guys know those pods? Those pods, you know, you throw in for your laundry. Guess how much 20 of them cost if you bought directly off of it? 20 of those pods to do your laundry. 20 pods is $1. Let that marinate. $1. And they make a profit. They turn a profit. That's the American economy. The world, I'm sorry. That is the world economy. We are in a bubble. We're in a bubble. And y'all believe China is against cryptocurrency.
They're using it.
Yes. Yes, they don't like that label, but they have something called a digital yuan, which is a CBDC. All 7 years, 6 years?
Part of BRICS.
6 years. Yeah, a CBDC, what you must. The reason why America gets tariffed, which is kind of new, it hasn't been like that. But ever since they switched over the past 6, 7 years, and since America made their markets, you know, they opened them up to overseas, China has seized the opportunity. China owns Hollywood. So I'm going to just let this, if China owns Hollywood, right, and a certain agency uses Hollywood, what does that say about that certain agency? I'm just going to ask a question. That's something I never asked Tommy, but I shall. And I want to see how I could tell when Tommy's lying. Let me tell you that. He doesn't know it. maybe he would see me. He knows I'm smart. I could tell when he's lying. That's when he said I was smart with I'm good with communication because he was talking about as in his field as an agent.
Right.
He said you could be a profiler. I already am, but I could tell when he's lying. So I will ask him that. He might pivot. I've been seeing a lot of pivoting going on, and watching that Joe Rogan podcast with Dave Smith and them two annihilate the guy, bro. He wouldn't answer no questions. He would deflect because he was just trying to get out the point that you're not allowed to talk about something because you don't know nothing about it, and you're not allowed to go research it because you're not an expert. Like basically trying to, stand by what we think, and I'm right, you're wrong, no matter what, and not even understanding the point. But that's neither here nor there. But guys, we're going. We're headed a direction. I'm gonna just say it real. You know what I mean? We are, and it's funny how. It can't be all these coincidences with Elon, all these coincidences with Trump, all these coincidences with these conspiracies, all these coincidences, what's happened economically. And once you start really learning money and how it moves and why they call it what it is, you start understanding and identifying what the people are in the United States and what machine we're really in. And that lady made perfect sense when she said, you guys were cool being slaves to the machine, but as soon as the machine tries to do something for you, you bitch and complain because you don't see the big picture. And that's from the politics, because she's not seeing it from the end game. You know what I mean? So she was right in what she was saying, because you guys will defend it. Politics has become a religion.
Absolutely. All lumped into one big
It's no
shit show.
different than being a follower of Jesus Christ. Same energy.
Still the savior of all.
Same,
every 4 years.
Same energy.
Yep.
They're looking for a savior.
Yeah.
Same fucking energy, bro. Mm-hmm. And you can't call me a liar. I dare you.
No lie in that.
Call me a liar. Like I said, bro, they can fix this shit. They could. They choose not to. They choose 800,000 missing. They choose the food to get you. All the signs are there, bro. Look what they put in our food. Who does it? China. Look, that's facts, by the way. Look what they do with our medicines and our oil industry. And look what they do. All right, it shouldn't even hard to convince. Next video. We're gonna show you what the white man.
And millions
Let's
of dollars
do
are
this.
continually sent into outer space, while we continue to face the same problems.
Didn't we
here
just see Katy
on the
Perry?
ground.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Poem said, a rat done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the moon, and her face and arms began to swell, and Whitey's on the moon. I can't pay no doctor bills, but Whitey's on the moon.
Facts.
10 years from
This is
now,
facts.
I'll be paying still while Whitey's on the moon.
Talk that
You know
shit.
the man just upped my rent last night? Because Whitey's on the moon.
Talk that shit.
No hot water, no toilets, and no lights, but Whitey's on the moon.
That's right.
I wonder why he's upping me. Because Whitey's on the moon, I was already giving him $50 a week, and now Whitey's on the moon. Taxes taking my whole damn check. The junkies make me a nervous wreck. The price of food is going up. And as if all that crap wasn't enough, a rat done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the moon. Her face and arms began to swell.
Facts, man.
And Whitey's on the moon. Was all that money I made last year for Whitey on the moon? How come I ain't got no money here? Whitey's on the moon. You know, I just about had my fill of Whitey on the moon. I think I'll send these doctor bills, air mail special, to Whitey on the moon.
Now replace Whitey to a certain, because it doesn't matter. When you talk about Whitey and him being his perspective, remember that was the 60s, 70s. But now it's all racist. And it's a religion that's on the moon. Well, because think about it. Didn't they just show Katy Perry? Did y'all notice the door open up before the device went to the thing to make the door open up? Did y'all see that? If you didn't, here you go.
Yeah, the only hardcore.
Next, go to the next video. Don't play that one.
Extremely classified documents. The United States.
Cut the other one
all
off
about
first,
that
bro.
fact.
There you go. And they had to play it back and close it. That shit was fake. 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 Tell me I'm lying. Bullshit. That shit was bullshit, bro. Bullshit. While Whitey's on the moon. While Semetics is on the moon. Why the Illuminati's on the moon? Because listen, fuck that whitey shit, fuck that race shit. We're all one race, bro, and we're all hurting. And I don't care if you take away the racial objection and just for what it is, tell me I'm not lying. That's how we all feel. While Whitey's on the moon, I can't pay my gas bill, but Whitey's on the moon. I have to pick between a cell phone or food, but Whitey's on the moon. I can't get to work so hard to even supply or continue to live in a house, but Whitey's on the moon. That's some real shit. And I feel like we're being oppressed economically on purpose so that we rely on our government to save us. And then they're going to roll out the UBI. Yes, it's coming. It's all on purpose, guys. You guys always wonder why we're going through what we're going through right now. Do a little bit of research into the things I'll talk about, please. And you know what? If you can disprove me after you learning how money works and you start paying attention to the geopolitical chess moves happening and you actually do your research on these topics we talk about with Neuralink, you follow Elon Musk, you follow the path that they took, you actually have spirituality in you and discernment to read what they're doing, come back here. And tell me if you pick up that same frequency. Tell me if you don't pick up that same energy. And tell me if you're going to openly lie to your intuition and go against what you feel. And I always get this, what are we going to do? Well, we can't do nothing until we make everybody aware of it. So that's what the fuck I'm doing, and that's what I'm doing, and that's my part. And I'm not up here for no like button. I'm sacrificing riches and all that to talk about this. Sacrificing that shit. There's a reason. I don't care about that. I care about what my son's world's going to be. Don't you? Don't you? I'm going to Charles Manson video. Tell me if this man lied. Tell me if Charles Manson lied.
The United States is owned by foreign corporations. Nixon opened it up for foreign trade.
Message.
And when Nixon opened up for foreign trade, the people of Europe and the common market and Spain and different places, they don't care about the United States forest. And
I'm on my Manson. I'm on my Manson shit. Let's go.
The United States has been sold out.
Right.
By people who really don't care for anything but money.
That's right. There's something more than money.
I've had all the money in the world 3 times. I had to give it back to keep the game going.
What game?
The game. It's a game. Money is a game. It's only real to the people who work for it.
Message.
The people that don't need to work for money, it's a monopoly game. It's a game of
it's paper.
It's all
on
paper. I've got a production company, and I've got a recording company, and I've got a mansion in Beverly Hills.
I got Reading Railroad.
And Ferraris. Yeah. I've got everything money can buy.
I got Park Place.
It's all on paper. Everything's done through the companies and through the tax loopholes. And the people that live on that level, they don't care about the average honest mule that just goes back and forwards to work. They don't care about the children that are in the streets that are thrown out of this upper echelon of existence. And then when all the children fall down into me on my level, I pretty much identify with them because I was a throwaway also.
That's right. Listen to him. He ain't lying.
So it goes to the point of, do you really care?
Right.
When you said...
And who does care? And if anybody cares, they're considered crazy.
Ain't that some shit?
I've been 15 years in the nut ward for trying to stop the trees from being cut down, from trying to rearrange a lifestyle of a bunch of people who don't want to change. But they're going to change because the cold wind is blowing.
I've got a curiosity. Can I ask you a question? Remember you had an X years ago and you changed it now to a swastika?
No, I never changed. It's been the same thing all the way along.
Listen to this. This is the message. Listen, listen.
No, it never was.
What's it stand for?
It stands for whatever I mean it to stand for, and whatever I make it stand for, and whatever I want it to stand for.
But you didn't one time say you were Xing yourself out?
No, that was your newspapers that gave you that.
What does it stand for you?
It stands for many things. And it would take 2 or 3 weeks to explain all the things that I've built.
Can you give me an example?
In the image. Certainly, I can give you an example of the United States flag of America.
The swastika?
The rising sun.
Listen to that.
And the Japanese flag.
He just named the black hole
Star
sun.
of David.
He just
to
named
the
the Jew.
Israelis.
Bro, he did not lie. Y'all not hearing him. That was so subliminal. He says that symbol on his forehead stands for the United States flag. The rising sun, which if you turn the way the direction facing is the symbol for the black hole sun. And then he said Israel. And some of y'all, that flew over your head. It did. I know it did. It's flying over your head right now, and you're trying to figure out what the hell that meant. And if you're at that point, keep seeking. Keep seeking. Keep seeking. You know what I mean? Because I can't even talk about it openly over here, which is crazy. And you think we're not under some type of
surveillance
Germanic rule? And I'm not sure if it's a human being or a computer at this point. And that's bad. I don't know if these human beings are even being empowered or told what to do by computers. And that's bad. I also remember that instructions were being taken from CERN. I add and piece together a lot of things for me to get to the conclusions that I do come up with. And yes, I have to admit, some of it is very far out thinking. And I always try to reel myself in back to rationality, because I have to, even when I start to believe something, I try to dispute it immediately. And I implore people to do that before you ever start speaking on a topic without doing that first, because then you'll have more understanding in it. And also when you speak on it, you'll be a little bit more clear on how to, project your point with some type of substantial evidence. You know what I mean? You don't want to just come up here and make these claims and state all this stuff without nothing backing it, because that's how you feel. I can 100%, without a doubt, prove anything I say goes beyond what I can feel. And even though feeling and energy has a lot to do with it, if you got $100 in your house and I walk in your house, and then when I leave your house, your $100 is missing, it's not rocket science to conclude you stole that $100. No matter what you say or the facts, whatever. You understand? And that's what we're disputing, the taking of the $100 to the fact that makes us accusing that. We're crazy. We're crazy because we're pointing out the fact, I know you stole my $100. And you get away with it. That's where we're at. Tell me I'm lying.
You're not.
Tell me I'm lying. If that was the best metaphor I could have gave you to make y'all understand this shit, that's what it is. And you're called crazy for accusing the motherfucker for stealing your $100. When you got camera, you got photography, you got timestamps, you even see him put it in his pocket. You're fucking crazy. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the most frustrating thing to be living in our world. Yeah, I saw the shots. Do I look like Manson? Manson did not lie one thing. Manson knew back then. Manson never unalived nobody. Let's also say that he was a persuasive person. But just because he gives you information, it should not be on him. No offense. Not saying what happened to those people wasn't an atrocity. Of course it was. Many people were unalived. But he didn't force people to do that. They were extreme to his ideologies. He ain't never hit nobody. People hit people for him. And he didn't say, hey, hit him. But nonetheless, we're not here to ethically challenge what if Manson did was right or wrong. When it comes to his, we'll say his belief system on how he sees the world, I've never heard Charles Manson lie. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about his criminal history. But when you hear that man talk, I listen. And I can't say that about a lot of people. And that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Think about that. When Charles Manson talks, I listen. And I'm sorry, it just shows you how much of bots people were back then to just thoughtlessly kill for him. If I was around, I would be like, listen, everything Charles Manson says, I would be around him and be listening to him. But as soon as he got to that shit, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck y'all doing? Whoa, that's not, no. I don't care. That's extreme. We got to try to wake them up. There was no rational voice out there.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'd be like. I think if I was around Charles Manson, he probably would have been flipped to be some type of prophet instead of it going in a direction because no one was fucking bot-lifed enough to not be bot-lifed enough to tell him, hey, bro, you're pushing people in a dark way. Mm-hmm. Because I never heard him lie.
And I can't do something differently.
Bro, but at the same token, what if all that shit was just what the government pushed to stop him?
Right.
What if he never unalived anyone? Because he never has. Don't you think it's funny someone's in prison for never killing somebody but is charged with murder?
Right.
Don't y'all find that funny?
Then he says that the thing
Like,
on
let's
his
be real.
forehead was something else, and it was like your newspapers told everybody that.
Right.
So, I mean,
There's a lot. Listen, I can't trust history, and I know our government is powerful. Look at Rashad Jamal.
Right.
So just understand, me doing this is dangerous. I could lose my life, but I'd rather fight for everything than, not.
Stand for nothing.
Yeah, stand for nothing. No, I'm gonna fight. And the only thing I can fight with is my voice. That's it, man. You know why? Because I have an instinctual aura of me about caring, about standing up for what's right. And I'm an ex-addict, bro. Like, it doesn't matter what you've done. You see, we all live in the same country. Who cares about our past? We're all in the same spot as much as you want to think that we're not. You're no different than me, bro. You think you might be above me or better than me, then you're not really in tune. And if you're judging me by what I look like, you don't even know who I am because I'm going to die and still live on and be in something different next time. And none of this fucking matters. How big my dick is, none of that shit matters. You understand? Because I'm going to have another dick. It might get small this time. I'll be sick, but you understand? Y'all are paying attention and grasping onto the wrong things and linking a person's identity by the wrong things. Therefore, if you only pay attention and identify in that way, you are oblivious to even understanding the big picture. Is there any more videos? Oh, which will go back to this video. All right. I love y'all, guys.
Yeah, the only hardcore thing is that there is an extremely classified document dealing with religion, and it's about that thick. Period. But why would there be any classified material dealing with religion?
I want to go back to the.
Why would there be? We all know this clip. We all know this clip.
It's so far out.
All right, your objection has been noted.
Okay.
What does it say?
That we're containers.
We're containers.
That's how supposedly
loose.
Look at us. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of.
Containers.
Containers.
Maybe containers of souls.
He could say, but he can't say.
So containers of souls don't sound far out. Because it's a story in the Bible where it talks about that guy, Legion, or it was a collection of demons and they formed the name Legion.
Right.
Okay. You ever heard of a person being possessed of multiple entities, multiple demons?
Yeah, talk to him.
So, yeah, this body is a temple. So they say container. But technically, yeah, it's a machine that can harbor the soul and multiple other souls. So container is correct, I feel like.
So now you're telling me that a council known as the Galactic Federation has been monitoring our planet since the beginning. They apparently were going to make themselves known in 2027, but due to everything that's been going on Earth, they've moved it up to 2025. They are on their third level of presenting themselves, first starting with the orbs, last year, which a lot of people have seen. The second phase, their motherships, their modes of transportation, have been all around the entire world, cloaked, multiple places that I've seen the videos. Now, once again, this is allegedly.
So whatever these things are, these aliens or whatever, I believe they are demonic. Here's my theory. They are demonic.
Or interdimensional.
They give us half-truths and lies because they want us on their team to fight against God. And that's described in Revelation.
Interdimensional.
So remember in Genesis, they tried to take the world by force with the Nephilim, and they were men of great renown, but you had the flood and stuff going on. So they have to try a different tactic, like, getting along with us, forming business deals, exchange for technology, humans, and all that. I'm sure you heard of all that. So look at 13. So what does it sound like to you? Because it says that we will make an image of the beast.
AI.
Okay, and that the image will begin talking,
AI,
and killing people that don't take the mark.
AI.
So that sounds like AI.
Yeah, AI.
Just like I thought.
Yeah.
You come over here to this section.
We're being told it,
okay,
bro.
you got electronic currency.
I've been saying this,
certain
right?
things in place.
How long I've been saying this, Cliff?
AI government, boom.
Day one.
Got that. Okay. And it supports my theory. Breath given to the image of the beast to enforce the system. As
I read my Bible, bro.
Revelations 13. Now we have to
cut it
get
off.
all
It don't
the
matter.
governments
It's all
under
good.
one authority.
I've been saying this is day one, guys. Day fucking one. And when the Euphrates River was drying up, which was man-made, not digress. When Egypt discovered these pillars. Did y'all hear the new conspiracy about the Egyptian pillars underneath the pyramid? That there's a sarcophagus down there and they're afraid that every certain cycle that something wakes up under there and then rules the world. That's something that's been going around. Hey, do your own research. I'll maybe if you want me to present it. And if everyone's on my YouTube right now, like it while you're in there and write a comment after this when it's over, please, just so we can start pushing my shit. My shit's growing, but we need to push it. Also, join the Patreon, help support your boy so we can make further episodes. I love y'all. And I haven't said that in a while because it's not been about Patreon. It's just been about the content. Fuck all that shit. But I do appreciate all y'all that do. Patrick, thank you, my boy, who always in all my comment sections always comments my Patreon, bro. I love you for doing that. Thank you. You're appreciated more than you can know. Slow thing. Also, my man, Jacob, Jacob, I forgot to name your name on the group. You need to freaking be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock if you see this. But thank you guys. Again, I forgot where I was going. Guys, I talked about a whole lot. I'm not going to lie. I'm energy drained just because of the passion behind it. You know what's going to start happening? I've been having an internal contemplation from the research aspect of, one, bringing you facts, figures, and numbers behind deals happening, dating all the way back from 2000, that shows the narrative that I speak. And I will have to dig in a lot of areas to find this certain things, and I'm not using Wikipedia, but I could find out, like when business started, when deals made, when combined, and I could tell y'all the actual narrative because Murray Smith's narrative. And I've been conflicted to that, but I'm going to do it. It's going to be like a fucking 10-minute video on on TikTok. But it will make a lot more sense for people to understand why I believe what I believe. And I am going to add the Bible, and I'm not saying the Bible's facts, but you got to remember it is a script, and they have to tell you, and they always do, and they are pushing that. And why you think the rapture story is in Hollywood? Put it together. And I've been saying this since 1902. So we are being directed, just like they're directing your votes, just like they're directing your eyes, just like they're directing your distractions. I love all of you guys, man. Go out, bless someday. Me and Cliff are outside throwing the football. Go touch some grass, man. Y'all kids get home from school, go outside. It's nice. Do something. Go do something, man. Or meditate. You know what I mean? I understand life's hard. It is. It ain't easy out here. Just make sure you guys are always in a positive mindset. Always make sure you're talking about yourself in a positive view. Just because you're going through something, it's only be going through it because it's going to make you stronger. Please believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. You are a testimony. You're alive still because you are here to impact someone else's life. So do that. Get through your shit. And hit me up if you need help in anything. I'm trying to tell you. I just need someone to talk to. Message me on that. Yo, I need to talk. You know what I mean? Not just to talk about nothing. So that's different. You know what I'm talking about. I love all